Hi, I'm Mark Stitchin, and I'm from Merton, Wisconsin. I grow giant pumpkins. I've been growing pumpkins off and on for most of my life, competitively for 3 years, and I just like the challenge and the camaraderie with the other growers. We got a real good group of people here.
I'm Don Gorgianis. I'm from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. I also grow Atlantic giant pumpkins. It's my 4th year growing. Been a member of the Wisconsin Giant Pumpkin Growers Association now for about 3 years, and that's kind of the crux of what brings us all together, and what brings the growing curve up for new growers is all the information that's shared amongst the growers. So it's a great organization, and like Mark said, it's good camaraderie and fellowship, and get to know other growers, and they readily share information and help out. And I think the biggest thing is the competitive nature. I'm also a bow hunter, and I go for big bucks. I like the bigger the better, and the same with pumpkins. You just want to keep doing better, and you can improve every year. There's a learning curve still, but it's a lot of fun seeing them grow every day. They grow so fast you can go out and garden every day, and you see the pumpkins gotten a little bigger, and there's a lot of perils and pratfalls to the hobby. They can die, they can split open, they can get disease, rodents can get at them. So there's a lot of heartbreak and there's a lot of joy, but it's all worth it. A lot of work though, a lot of work. You spend a lot of your summers out in the garden, pulling weeds, watering, fertilizing, hours a day. I think I grew 7 pumpkins this year. I lost 3 of them that were heartbreaking. But I probably spend 2 to 3 hours every day, and when I'm off, I spend even more time out there. And I think there's other growers that spend even more time than I do, like Glenn.
Hi, I'm Glenn Martin. I'm from Combined Locks, Wisconsin. And I'm in a kind of unique situation here. I didn't get started with this at first, and my wife did. We were sitting on a bar stool one day in a little tavern for a birthday party, and in they drag a 400-pound pumpkin, and my wife nudges me on the shoulder like that, says, I'm going to show these boys I can grow a bigger one than they can. So the following year she grew a 235-pound pumpkin, which all of a sudden was pretty good. But we had a little bar contest going on, and the next year nobody had grown a pumpkin over 500 pounds. So all of a sudden she said to him, I am going to grow one bigger than you guys again. So the next year she grew the first one at that bar contest to 539 pounds. I mean, 565 pounds or something like that, whatever it was, over 500 pounds. Then there's an organization called the Great Pumpkin Commonwealth, and also the Wisconsin Giant Pumpkin Growers, and we went to one of their meetings, and it says there's an international convention in Niagara Falls. At 8 o'clock on a Friday morning, my wife and I decided to go to that convention and drove 12 hours to get there. The first person we met at that time, walking through the door, gave us a beer, was Joe Jutras, which just grew a 1,689-pound pumpkin. And I says, I will try to grow one as big as what he did. And so the following year, my wife and I grew the biggest one in the state of Wisconsin, which was 1,323 pounds. So ever since then, it's trying to up our game. And it's a hobby, it's a passion. We call it the big pumpkin card. If I get pulled over by the police or something, it's like I'm thinking about pumpkins. Like, sorry. I used that at the police station one time. It didn't work real well. I didn't get out a ticket, but at least I tried. So
you tried.
I tried. Yeah, I tried to get out of that ticket. But and I tell people that these things are fascinating because they can grow upwards to 2 pounds. I mean, 2 pounds an hour.
Yep.
Could you imagine that? 2 pounds an hour. You can actually go out and watch this happen day after day. And there can be heartbreak in it, stuff like that, but there's a lot of joy in it. You know, every fall, everybody thinks about pumpkins, Halloween, things like that. So it's kind of a joyous time of the year. But also, like Don says, the big one can get away. Yeah. And he talks about hunting, and it's kind of like we attract a lot of hunters because it's the search for the best seed, best nutrients, the best place to grow, the best sun. It's all a fun, joyous hobby, really.
Yeah, we have a chance of breaking the state record here today, and so we're going to have to wait and see. Glenn's got a couple of nice pumpkins here, and maybe even a world record. Who knows?
Never know.
What's the world record now, Glenn?
The world record is 2,032 pounds, but there has been one weighed in Germany that had a little pinhole in it last year that was 2328, okay? So it's substantial. They figured out that the average for the last few years, that the average weight went up probably 50 to 70 pounds every single year. It's going up in weight for pumpkins. So it's it does It does. We're wondering when it's going to stop. We don't know. Last week we had a weigh off down in Cedarburg, and at that place we weighed a squash that was the Illinois state record, a squash that was the Wisconsin state record, a pumpkin that was the Illinois state record, and also a tomato record that hasn't been broken in Wisconsin in 38 years at almost 7.5 pounds. So not only do we weigh pumpkins here, we weigh other things too. So we try to do the 6 fruit watermelons. We don't have any watermelons. Yeah, we got a couple watermelons here today, field pumpkins. So there's lots of different stuff to grow and weigh. And we tell people you could do this on your own porch if you had to, with a tomato.
Yeah, and with the advent of the internet, it's kind of an international sport now. Growers interact with other growers on different websites like bigpumpkins.com. You know, there's interactive forums and chat rooms, and so you can get to know people from all over the world. Of course, today the weigh-off is the highlight of the year when you get to bring your best pumpkins in and weigh them, and so excitement is high. You never know who's going to place high, because size is one thing. We can measure them and get a growth chart that'll tell us what they're going to be close to, but sometimes a pumpkin will be a lot heavier because it's thicker or holding more water, so it'll be heavier than chart, we'll say, and then there'll be another one that's lighter, so sometimes the biggest pumpkin doesn't always win the weigh-off, so it's right up to the minute.
It all goes by weight. It's how much they weigh.
Yeah. Size don't mean anything.
This ain't a pretty contest either. We don't care about prettiness. So no, all we tell people is we got a simple rule here. You have to grow it. You have to get it to the scale. You have to bring it here in pretty good shape, okay?
And we've been doing this. This is the culmination, but we start growing indoors in April, mid-April. People are already starting. So we've been going from April until now, late September and October. We still got pumpkins in our patch. So it's a long season, and it can wear you down.
Now we start for next year. So they'll do a soil test and kind of think of what you want to do, what seed you want to grow, what you're going to do different, types of fertilizers, fungicides, bug control, animal control, a fence so deer don't come and eat your plant off, and you start thinking about it right away, what you're going to do next year.
And I might add that Glenn's too modest to mention that it was actually him and his wife Margaret that set the state records last week for squash and tomatoes. So congratulations, Glenn.
But it's going to be done again. We brought a nice sign along for a state record, and if somebody grows a world record, we got a nice sign for that too. And the world record's been broken continuously almost every year for the last 8 years, except for 1 year. It's been broken every single year. The world record has been. So